Hey, parents, welcome back. Listen, today on our show, we are talking with a guest that we've had on 2 years ago, actually, a fan favorite. Welcome back to the show, Aniston Langdon.
Well, thank you for having me back. It has been almost 2 years, as she said, and I'm very excited to be back on your show, Mom.
Did you hear that? She said, Mom, that's right. This is our 10-year-old daughter. Last time we had her on the show was episode 44, very early in our season when she was just 8 years old. So we thought it would be fun to jump back on the mic and talk about the same topic, the weekly family huddle, or you might call it a weekly family meeting. But we've been having these huddles, these little meetings with our family since 2019. Y'all, that's been 6 years from the date of this recording. That means we have logged over 200 plus family huddles. Once a week on Sundays is when we have these meetings. And so I just wanted to ask Annie what her perspective is as a child who's been participating in this since she was just 4 years old. So, Aniston, tell us first of all a little bit about the family huddle. Like, if somebody was a fly on the wall in our living room on a Sunday when we're having our family huddle, what would they see is happening? Kind of take us through how these family huddles happen and what they consist of.
Well, the family meetings consist of a prayer at the beginning. My dad normally just picks whoever he wants. It's a nice, gentle prayer. We're asking God to help us with the family meeting and everything that we're going to do in it. And then after that, we do our family mission statement, which we'll get to later. And then after that, we go into our calendar and we go about maybe 2 to 3 weeks out, just saying what we're doing. And then we just kind of go over the things that might be a little blurry, like we might have a half day at school and we don't know what time we're getting picked up, or maybe free dress at school or something that we have to figure out beforehand. So that's really what we do. And then after that, we do a little prayer thanking God for what we had in our family meeting. So that's kind of just the basic of our family meeting.
So you said it starts with a prayer, a simple, just a prayer asking God to help us with whatever it is we're going to discuss in our meeting. And then we talk about or we review our family mission statement. That's right, which we also created in 2019. We say it together as a whole family. We cast this mission statement up on our TV from our computer screen, and so we can read it together and follow along. And then we look at our calendar, right? We share a Google Calendar. My husband and I contribute both to this calendar as things come up in our email. We learn new things about the school calendar, our work calendar, social activities, birthday parties. We add them to our Google Calendar throughout the week. And then on Sunday during our family huddles, we look at the calendar up on our screen, on our TV screen. We just use a simple HDMI cord to connect our laptop computer to the TV, and it works really, really well. That way, Aniston, 10, and her brother Lincoln, who's 13, can both see how the digital calendar works, and they can follow along as we go day by day, leading kind of and learning about the calendar and what activities we have coming ahead of us. So, Annie, who is the leader of these family huddles?
The leader of the family meetings is my dad because he's more organized than most of us, at least. And also he can guide us through the calendar. He can drive. He has all this stuff for the family meeting, and so he leads us through it.
When you talk about he can drive, what do you mean by that?
Well, because on the calendar there is things, most of the things on there we have to drive for. And so Lincoln can't drive, nor can I. So you guys have to pitch in and you guys have to drive for us, I guess. So you guys are the main part of the whole calendar.
Getting you from place to place.
Yeah.
Your dad also drives the computer during the family huddle, right?
Yeah.
He kind of sits in a different spot where he has a good angle on the TV, and he uses his little mouse and he drives the computer and drives us, around the calendar so that we can see what's going on. And he also helps to just guide discussion, which is such a big help in my opinion, because as a mom, I know one of the most frustrating things for me for years was feeling like a team of one. I constantly felt like I was the only one who knew what was on the family calendar. And so the burden was on me when people didn't know what was going on to share that information with them. And so the beautiful thing about having Josh be the leader of our family huddles is that he is leading the family through the discussion about the calendar, and he is an equal part of knowing what we have going on. Now, Annie, what do you think are some of the biggest benefits to having a weekly family huddle? Every single Sunday, we meet up and have these huddles. So, as a child, how do you benefit from these meetings?
Well, one of the benefits is the organization. Just like you're knowing that the family meeting, we go to church, then we come home, we have brunch, then we go and get to the family meeting, having it in order. Just that makes just life more orderly. And then also, it just helps being prepared for the week. If I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, then I get stressed, or then I have to ask at nighttime when I have to go to bed, I have to ask what's going on this whole week, and then it just takes up more time. And so I just think if you take just maybe 30 minutes to an hour, you can have organization, preparation, and really whatever you really need to move on for the week.
That is a great benefit to being orderly. You said it helps like the whole family be more orderly, and it helps reduce your worries. Did you hear that, y'all? Kids worry about what's coming next if they don't really know. And so, Annie, besides our calendar being launched up on the TV during our family huddle, where else can you go in our house to take a glimpse of our weekly calendar and see what's going on for the upcoming days?
Well, we have a little magnetic calendar on our fridge that has everything we need on it for the days. It tells us who's driving us to school, who's taking us back from school, if it's a half day, if it's not, if it's free dress or it's not. It tells us basically everything we need for that day. And my mom even writes what food we're having for the night, because we always ask her what's for dinner, what's for dinner. That's like the main question after school. So if we know everything what's happening, it's just more orderly, more prioritized, and yeah, it just really is helpful for me.
Awesome. So we just have a simple dry erase calendar, y'all. We got it on Amazon. We've had it for 2 years already. And Saturday mornings, I get up, have my coffee, and I just load that calendar with everything that's in our Google Calendar, just right there on the dry erase calendar. And then I put it on the fridge because guess what? Everybody's getting in the fridge all the time,
Yes.
right? It's a common place we go to feed ourselves. So the kitchen is such a good place to launch a weekly calendar and just keep it up so that everyone can go to it and see it. And there doesn't have to be so many conversations verbally about what's going on, but instead you can orient everyone to the week just by looking at your calendar on the fridge.
Hmm.
So good. What is like maybe your favorite part of the family huddle, you think?
Probably the mission statement and the calendar. It's kind of hard, but like the both of those are really like enjoyable. The family mission statement, I ever since my dad told me like the actual meaning of it, it really helped me because we have seven like topics, I guess. which is God, spouse, family, friends, career and learning, health and environment, which all of those are really important, but we have leveled them from the best to the maybe not as much, but we still need to hold that. And my dad, he showed me like a little picture of what it actually means. God is at the top, he's the tippy top of the triangle. He's the one just like sitting up there. He's doing his job. He's doing it all. And then spouse is holding him up. He's the next level down. The next level, the next level. And then the base is environment and health. Those are the ones we need to keep the most. Because if we don't keep those the most, then when we get to the tippy top, the best part, it's going to kind of just fall down. If we don't have the base, then we don't got the top. So I think I really do like uh, the family mission statement.
Mm. Yes, we have 7 categories that we prioritize in our family, Annie. And you're right. You're talking about kind of them being in a proper order, because not everything is equal, right? In family life, there are some things that are more important than others. And we happen to believe that God is number one, right? If it weren't for God, we wouldn't even be here. So it's so important for us to remind ourselves that God is number one in our lives as individuals and in our family. And then the second in order is spouse, right? And so, why do you think spouse comes before the whole family? Why do you think my relationship with your dad is even higher than my relationship with you and Lincoln and Parker?
Well, I think there's a pretty clear answer on that, but there's also not really clear because it's just like for kids, it's really hard. Like, why don't we have dates with our parents? Why aren't we always with them? But it's a really strong relationship between a husband and a wife, and I think that is the biggest bond you can have between human, and that is one of the parts that I'm looking forward to in my life to come. And I think that is a really good thing that spouse is above family, just because if I didn't have my parents, you and dad, I wouldn't be alive. So if you guys can celebrate with a date or with whatever you guys are doing, a date, a dinner, breakfast, lunch out, I don't know. It's just the biggest bond between human, in my opinion.
Wow. Y'all, this is just off the cuff. I'm telling you, we are sitting in the podcast room. Uh, Annie actually has pneumonia at this point, and she is homesick for the day. But she said, "Mom, I feel like getting on the microphone and talking about the family huddle. Could we do that?" I said, "Well, why not?" So this is very much a live conversation here. No practicing or rehearsing or talking about what we're going to say. And that was amazing that you just said that the bond between a husband and wife is like the most important bond between two humans. Whoa. I think you're right. I think you're right about that. And just this idea that you are looking forward to that in your own life at age 10 is really special for me to hear as a mom. So thank you for sharing that. We have been dating each other in married life since 2019. Now, don't laugh because we've been married 20 years. And prior to 6 years ago, we were not having scheduled dates, Josh and I. We were very much going and running and, you know, passing each other like two ships in the night. And we're very much focused on just our kids' activities, and then would be so exhausted that it was like, how are we even going to go on a date? Or what do we even do if we go on a date? And it was back in 2019 when we created our family mission statement and realized the importance of ordering priorities in our family and how our marriage had slipped down to the bottom of that list, that we decided to prioritize dating each other as a married couple. So Annie is talking about, yes, We know that our parents are going on dates because it's on the calendar and we talk about it once a week in the family huddle. So you guys will see that mom and dad have a date night out at a restaurant, or mom and dad are meeting up with another couple to do a double date, or dad's got a massage planned for mom on the calendar, right? That happens right in our own home. We have prioritized dating each other in married life, and our kids have benefited from it. I know it. Plus, you guys get a little time by yourself when we're away
Yeah.
too, right?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. So, Annie, do you think you could try, no pressure, but do you think you could try to recite our family mission statement just to the best of your ability? It doesn't have to be perfect, but do you want to give it a try?
Sure. I'll try it. Um, so we say the family mission statement, established 2019. God, we know and love God the Father. We follow Jesus as our example, and we call on the Holy Spirit to guide us in our daily lives. Spouse, we serve each other to grow in love. We work as one to move the family forward. Family, we've got each other's backs. We are interactive, fun, and adventurous. Friends, we are intentional and authentic in our friendships. We share in our friends' joys and support them through our struggles. Career and learning. Our work is rooted in service to others. We are both mentors and mentees. We work hard and are generous with what we earn. We learn the truth and are lifelong learners. Health. We treat our body as God's temple by eating healthy, staying active, and getting good sleep. Environment. We work together to maintain a safe, orderly, and welcoming home so we are prepared to serve anyone who visits us. We treat other environments as we do our own home.
Wow, you got it. Nice job.
Well, thank you.
That's it, folks. We recite that once a week. Kids have the ability to memorize this. We aren't drilling them with it. We aren't practicing this. We didn't, do some recitation performance for people. This is just something we put up on our TV during our family huddles, and we say it aloud as a family one time, and then we move on to reviewing our calendar for the week. Annie, why do you think we have a mission statement? What do you think this mission statement helps us with?
Well, the mission statement, I think, helps us. It's like a passage from it's like a verse from a Bible. It tells us, kind of like I said, what's in order from top to bottom, which one's the best, which one's the least, and it tells us what each of those subjects mean. Like God, it's telling us that God, we know and we love God the Father. We follow Jesus as our example, and we call on the Holy Spirit to guide us in our daily lives. We are telling ourselves that we are um, that we have to work on this, or it's like basically what the family mission statement is it is a little cheat sheet, because it just tells us basically what can help us. Like spouse, we have to love our spouse. God, we have to love God. We have to love our family, friends. We have to work hard, career and learning. And the reason why it's career and learning is because me and Lincoln don't really have a career yet. We're gonna work towards a career, but right now we're learning from school, and so we kind of had to switch things up a little. And then if you guys make your own family mission statement, you just have to add in your own stuff. Like what is our top priority? What is our bottom, like, baseline basics here? Like environment, we have to keep our home the exact same as we are going to keep other people's house. If we're going to jump on the couches at our house, why would we do that at other people's house? Like, my parents would not let me jump on our couch. So we should not do that at other people's house. So I think the quality and the meaning of the family mission statement is just to help us, like, learn of like more stuff. Like we gotta just dig deep into the hard stuff.
I love how you said it helps us to prioritize and that it really helps us. It's kind of like a verse from scripture you said. It gives us something to orient our minds to so that we know what's most important in our family and how we can grow, right, in these different 7 areas. And that's exactly what a family mission statement is all about. It is identifying what things are most important to you as an individual family, right? We can all be sharing the same last name. We're Team Langdon over here, but we might be focused on very different things as individuals. And that's where division happens in the family. It happens between husband and wife, and it happens between parents and children when everybody's just sort of has their own agenda and they have their own things that they like doing and that they are focused on and prefer to grow in. That is where this individualism happens in families and things start to really break down. And so our family mission statement unifies us. It helps to remind us what we're going for, right? For us, the end game is heaven. That is our ultimate finish line as a team. And so it makes sense to put God at the forefront of that. And then to nurture our marriage comes second, because if we aren't nurturing our marriage, then our relationship with our kids is strained. Because in a married union, right, between husband and wife, one of the most difficult things that pulls at us is when we are not getting along. If we're not getting along or we're having trouble communicating with each other, we're at odds with each other, it's very difficult to concentrate at work. It's very hard to be calm, patient, and responsive at the home. So we got to put that number 2. And then the third, family. We have to work as a family unit to build unity. Family dinners. How often do we eat dinner around the dinner table, Annie, together?
Mostly every day. Sometimes Saturdays are kind of our day off, kind of leftovers and all that stuff. But like that, just that little like 45 minutes is really helpful just to talk to each other.
Yes. So we prioritize family dinners, right? Even if we get home late from a game or we have, sports practices or meetings, we make it a priority to sit down without the TV and just have a conversation while we're at the table. Sometimes we bring out that little box of cards, don't we?
Yes. Family talking points. We just draw a card out and it just like gives us a little like thing to talk about. Maybe we had a rough day and we don't want to talk, or like this little like card just helps us kind of like to just speak. So like some of them are like what is your favorite animal and what would you do to get it? Or like there's some like crazy stuff in there, to just get like a rolling conversation on.
Yes, we love that. So conversation cards are good to keep at your dinner table to get just get a new topic brought up, right? And then we talk about, making our friends a priority too. And one of the things in our mission statement we talk about is that we support our friends through their struggles and we help our friends celebrate things that they're happy to have accomplished. And so, again, if you're reading this every week, it helps your kids too to orient their relationships to what is good and true and beautiful. So, reminding them that when they're at school, that if something rough is happening with their friends, that they support their friends. If somebody wants to celebrate something, that they're part of that. That's one of the things Team Langdon really, values is friends and treating our friends well. And then we talk about our career and learning. All right, career. It's important for our kids to know that yes, we are leaders in our jobs and our careers. My husband is a financial advisor and has his own practice where he's his own boss. I am the CEO and parent coach here at Families of Character, and so I lead my team. But we also want our kids to know that not only are we mentoring others, but we are mentees, right? We have mentors that we go to for regular direction and guidance and coaching. And so just laying that groundwork for them, and they hear us talk about that in our family huddles, they see it playing out in real life. They can look forward to that as well, giving and getting back, right? And then we talk about health, right? We treat our body as God's temple by eating healthy and getting good sleep. Every time we say this, y'all, I think we're like, uh-oh, we're not doing so well in that. Right, Annie?
Yeah.
Because we mess up, we eat out too much, or we get on these sugar kicks where we're, eating too much sugar, or we haven't exercised. And that's okay, because every week when we look at that, we're reminded that, oh, we can do something about that. We can do something better, going forward. And that's the beauty of a family mission statement. If you had it all figured out, you wouldn't need one. So reviewing it and just reminding each other what we're working on together, even if we're really slacking in that thing, helps to orient us. And then we talk about our environment, because taking care of your home environment is very important. We just recently interviewed someone on our podcast about decluttering and the state of your home, and just having order in your home. And, it's true that the way your physical environment is affects your mental well-being. And so we talked about how the family mission statement really helps to decrease anxiety in kids, because you know what's coming. Same thing about the physical environment of home, is if it is very cluttered, messy, dirty, it's very hard for you to focus on what you need to focus on in the home. And so we work together as a team to really have order in our house. And the purpose of it is also so that we can be prepared to serve anyone who visits us, right? Anyone who comes over or wants to bounce in spontaneously, we can fully attend to them, because we're not worried about, oh goodness, there's trash everywhere, or, we're just so embarrassed of how it looks here. It's like we just keep it tidy on a regular basis. Then we can be fully present to our guests when they come. Annie, you did a great job on that family mission statement. What else do you have to say about the family huddle? I'm thinking you're forgetting something that you talked about in our last one, which is the very last thing we do in our huddle.
Oh, I kind of forgot about that part. The last part, the actual last part of our family meeting, is we put all of our hands in the middle of the room, and we say on three, Team Langdon, and then we go 1, 2, 3, and then lift our hands up, Team Langdon. And then sometimes we add in a little like craziness, like 1, 2, 3, Team Langdon, 4, 5, 6. Annie's a weirdo or something really off or something. So I think that's actually my favorite part. It's very just like energizing. It's the last thing before we go off into our separate ways, just going outside playing. And so it's just like really energetic. It helps. It definitely helps.
So the team huddle ends with a chant, just like Annie said. We pile our hands on top of each other in the middle of our living room. We count to 3. 1, 2, 3, Team Langdon. And we try to yell pretty loud. And sometimes our neighbors, our backyard neighbors, the Weirsomes, they can hear us. And that's okay. We really feel like unifying our team with our family name right at the end is a great way to just remind each other that we've got each other's backs. We are in this together. We are a team, a true team, and we're all fighting for the same end zone, right? We're all going in the same direction, parents and kids. So, Annie, thank you for jumping on the mic for this little episode about the benefits of a family huddle and how it brings order to the family.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, you're welcome. Guys, please share this episode with people in your circle. Definitely share it with your spouse. If you're not doing a family huddle already, please go to our website. We have a free handout that tells you how to do your family huddle. We also have a more robust bundle called the Huddle Bundle, and it's got videos, it's got downloadables that you can print out as a little agenda and some note taking, some calendars for your kids to use during your family huddle as well. So that is in our shop at familiesofcharacter.com if you just go under the shop tab. Listen, your family is the most important team you will ever be part of. So take this seriously. Get your family huddle started this weekend, and you will enjoy more peace, less fighting, less nagging, and a whole lot more laughter and joy in your home. Thanks for tuning in. And Annie, I look forward to you being on our show again in another year or two so that we can just see how you're still participating in our family. You're still just queen positivity and you're still motivating us to do better every single day. You're
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Well, thank you. You're awesome too. Just keep doing those family meetings, and also just you don't even have to take an hour. Just take 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes, just do a little family meeting. You don't have to do a family mission statement. Maybe just go over like the top 5 things that you want to work on. Like you want to work on being more friendly or stuff like that, and then just go over your calendar. That's all you have to do.
You could keep it simple to get started, right, Annie?
Yes, keep it simple and then keep moving your way up every like month or so. Maybe add another thing to do, and then just maybe set a reasonable time for all of you guys.
Yes, that's great advice. Start simple. Start even with just reviewing your calendar and getting together and showing up for each other every Sunday. Take care, guys. We will catch you on another episode of the Families of Character Show real soon.